How is it
Oh.
going? Is everything good?
Good.
Okay. It's nice to get away.
So I passed on the 5-second rule to somebody yesterday. I'm friends with somebody, and so she wrote on Facebook about this artist friend of hers. They're an accomplished painter. The body of work is enormous, and they are hurting for lack of ability to self-actualize for themselves. And they even turned down an opportunity to show by invitation to a prestigious event out of fear and shyness.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I wrote on her page, let me go back to exactly what I wrote. I said, read the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. It's a life changer for courage, confidence, change in your life. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. We are finishing up reading it in our 5 a.m. book club. It's a great book. She has videos on YouTube as well. Very inspirational as to where she was and where she is now. So Rhonda is the friend that, that I know, and she said, thank you. Well, the woman, the painter, said, wow, thank you, Pat. Just watched her on TED Talks and ordered her book. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Nice.
And then this other girl who I'm also friends with, who lives out in Las Vegas, said, maybe I'll order a book too. Rhonda, you're a fantastic painter for this era. Rhonda is my friend who is a painter also. So now that's 3 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
But that's, so Robin is the one who is the painter who's the shy one. And I don't know. We were just talking about it last night. You never know where this could lead for her. She might just read the book and be like, I'm just going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and just say, like,
just do it.
I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, but you see, you're not in charge of the outcome, but you can share with something with somebody. It might help, it might not, You're not in charge of what they're going to do. So,
Okay.
let's start, because it's kind of 6:05. Okay. 5 a.m. book club starts right now.
Start right now. You're leading today, right?
Everybody in and nobody out. Everybody come in, nobody live in the building. So today we're talking about relationships and the 5 seconds rule that can be applied to make relationships more connected, create more trust, and just change everything, whether that was good or bad. Silence or misunderstanding, distance, and sometimes the crucial meaning of 5 seconds rule when you might not have another chance to say something. We always presume that, I'm thinking, I have these ideas and thoughts, I want to tell something to this person, but I'll do it tomorrow. Or I'll do it when I'll have my makeup on, or I will reach out to them when I feel bad, or today I don't feel so good. And I really love how she says, how Mel said, just there is only basically 2 pieces of advice you need, just 2 words, say it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how important it is to actually really say things to people, because very often we are in touch with somebody, we're talking to somebody, we see their greatness in some things, or we see their progress, or we see what a wonderful person they are. Maybe they really made our day, maybe not one time, but we think that it's going to be stupid if we're going to say something. Like we're so much afraid to look stupid, then we holding back, or we're afraid to get emotional if there is something really touching our heart. We afraid we're not going to be able to say it, so we're going to look emotional, so therefore we're going to look weak, and we should not say it. And I was just thinking, when it was counted to be weak, when you actually showing a person that you care, when you show a person, when you touch some subjects that are difficult, but they make us alive. Somehow we have this thing of we have to be perfect and we have to be robots. We have to always have control of what we're saying, and we should always live in the shell. We should never show our real face. And if we were about to show an emotion, it makes us this weak, either weak person or something else, when it really shows us that we are alive. And in this all examples, she shows in her stories all kinds of things, including breaking up the silence and saying important things once needed and not saying important things and regretting. And so I think maybe we could make today a combination of discussing some of the male stories and maybe share a little bit of ours, because I think stories really help us to get to know each other.
I agree.
So well, she started, I really like the story with her dad. Of course, it was significant because we all kind of into her book and maybe want to know a little bit about her, like her family life. And it was almost kind of funny when she was talking how when her dad called her and told her he needs to talk to her, how she freaked out and she imagined she was in trouble. That's what I would do. That's my first thought. What did I do this time? And that she did something, or he's dying, or he has cancer, and when she finally was able to talk to him, he actually had to stop her crazy cycle and tell, no, like, it's not about you. Slow down. Let me talk. And so that was, I thought that was really cool when he actually, his attitude. Do you guys agree? His attitude about the news he had to say was pretty cool.
Yeah, but the mind can kind of play tricks on you, because I guess it didn't seem like a normal conversation that he was having. So she was just like, you know, like when the phone rings at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, what is this? So your mind starts racing.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that everybody is capable. I mean, most people would feel, okay, this is not a regular call. Yeah. But still, he handled it so well. He explained her what happened, what he needs to have. She had her memories. But she, after creating herself the 5-second rule, I think it was really awesome that she actually asked him if he is afraid. Because I think questions, that's what she really wanted to ask. And I think real questions make us connect. Instead of asking, she said, I could go light and positive, and it's okay to be light and positive, but I think questions how you really feel, and they help us to connect with the other person rather than just being in this happy mask that is totally unnatural at that moment. It's just fake, like it's fake.
Yeah.
So, and then she said that after she just asked him, she just got the courage to ask him, how do you feel? Do you feel scared? And he shared how he feels. He feels that, he not really scared. He's actually, he's a little nervous, but he is happy that he has a chance to take care of this thing before it kills him. Yeah. He has a chance. And if something happens, he feels grateful that he had a great life.
See, this may sound weird to everyone in this room, but like if I showed up at the doctor, I imagine myself showing up at the doctor and getting some bad news. And if I show up and I break down and I start crying and I'm, and they have to give me Kleenex and all this other kind of stuff. If I cry, I think I don't understand what life is. And what I mean by that is we all know we're going to exit. So if you really cherish each day and live each day to the fullest, if you're reacting like that when you get the news, then you don't really understand what life is. That's what I'm thinking.
We were not supposed, I agree with you, because we were not supposed to live forever. No. It's very sad when somebody young, like has to go away. Maybe they have children or something like that. Or, that there is things to figure out, okay, what we're going to do. And I want to say that as a mother, because I love my son, I do everything to encourage him to be independent. And unfortunately, most mothers do the other way around. They just feel that being overprotective and kind of like being in charge of everything is it's given care, and especially in Eastern European countries, it's like let me tell you, it's just like so. I think it's kind of uniting all mothers internationally, and it's if I say this to my friends, I often hear the critics to what I do with my son because I let him be independent. But I think here is the thing: when news are coming like this, and you know, if you love your son or your brother or your mother, when you know they can make it on their own, that's when you did the job. Yeah. You love them, you want to be with them as long as you can, but you know that you did the job when you encourage them to step into, you know, their power rather than being dependent. Somehow love independence is whole another topic here. But I thought it was beautiful that this conversation ended up to create, I think, more trust and connection between them when they needed that. And also, I really like, that's what I would do. I really like how he joked in the end, like, hey, you know, I actually want to go to Africa if things go well. Yep. And my 90th birthday, if I'm still around, I want to jump from the airplane. And he actually made me laugh.
I have a story. A guy I interviewed actually. Have you guys ever saw online the Unstoppable Family?
I did.
No. Yeah, but real short is just a guy and his wife and the little daughter who left 6-figure corporate America jobs, and they started traveling all over the country, and they took their little daughter with them. So he said to me, and I was floored when he said this. He said his dad contracted AIDS in his life, and he had 6 months to live. You know, and what do you think that dad did when he found out he had 6 months to live with AIDS?
He traveled.
Yeah, I told you a story. He traveled.
No, he didn't.
Oh, well, he not only did he traveled all over the freaking world. He went to Egypt, Spain, China. I mean, he just went bananas, and he took the whole family.
Yeah, it's much better.
And we're talking about bad, depressing news. 6 months does something like that. So my question is, if you had 6 months to live and you were given that advice, what would you do?
Same thing.
You would go out with a bang?
Yeah, I would take my family, people that I love, you know, as much as they can spend time with me. I would definitely do that. That's why it was easy to guess.
But then it makes you
in a hospital, you know, or getting chemotherapy or.
No, I would not ever do that.
Survive, you know, under those circumstances. Why would you want to put your body through that and put your family through that and spend all that money unnecessarily for a treatment that's not going to work?
Nope.
And go have fun with your family and your friends and whomever. Go visit places you've never been before. You know, especially your family and people you love, and go have experiences and have them have experiences with you that they'll never forget.
But what's so powerful is that his dad did that, but now he's basically doing the last thing that his dad did, 6 months left in his life. And they're still traveling. It's like probably 8 years now.
That is awesome. I think maybe that's there might be a connection there.
It could be, yeah.
Yesterday I was at my son's conference, and everything went great. And I asked her I said, you know, sometimes I want to travel, you know, in a school time, and I want to take maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you know, we talk about it. And I was really 5 seconds ago, I was really afraid that he's gonna say, "What are you talking about? It's a school year. How dare you?" But she was really cool about it. She said, "I don't think he should miss an opportunity if you can take him with you."
Wow.
That he's a great student. He's right on top of it, and just you're gonna have assignments. And nowadays kids do a lot of stuff online. You know, they do math and some other things. And there are games as they do. And you know, she was, you know, because I live in a small town, it's very not very. But I was
open-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was really pleased, and of course, what did I told myself is that she's gonna look down at me and say me, you know, what are you talking about? You have to do what everybody else does. So
and one thing about that girl that grew up, because there was parts where she grew up in Panama, that girl is light years ahead of kids that I've seen in America or any other places.
Because she traveled. It's an education. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is also interesting how when you start, when we start talking about these things and working on it, it's almost like it's all makes sense. Like it's all comes together, and now we just pay attention when this 5 second rule occurs or when we do something like this out of courage. So
That's true.
yeah, we can definitely share some more stories, and if anybody want to share their favorite story from the book, you're welcome to do that, or I can just go. What was your
Right now, you can just go.
Okay, okay.
Unless Pat and Chuck and CJ has something.
I had a meeting yesterday with someone at work about some video projects. So I had a chance to use the rule yesterday, or at least before I even went into the meeting, I said, all right, I'm going to be confident. I'm going to speak what's on my mind. And the meeting went extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So did you call the meeting? Did they call the meeting? Like, how did the meeting even happen?
Oh, good question. So 2 months ago, this individual came up and asked about doing some video work, and I kind of let it fall through the cracks. So last week, it's been on my mind for like 3 weeks. I need to reach out to this guy and just do a follow-up.
Okay.
And so I did that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and just sent an email saying, hey, and I worded the email like he dropped the ball. I was waiting on him.
Yeah.
So I didn't admit any guilt, and it worked. So he replied back, hey, let's have lunch yesterday, this past Tuesday.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, okay.
And it didn't kill you, did it?
It didn't. I was nervous, but we go yesterday to Ruby Tuesdays, and we sit down and we're just chit chatting, and we had a have a good relationship. Next thing I know, the executive vice president, the assistant executive vice president, and some other dude came and sat 5 tables up from us.
What?
So, right. So I'm like, oh boy. So you have to understand, I'm in our business, I'm just a mechanic, right?
It's interesting how you just said that, but keep going.
I know, that's just the perception, you know what I mean? But they all know me, and they know I've done work for all of them. So they all know what I do. So I'm here, I'm sitting in front of this other executive at lunch in my mechanic uniform. The executive vice president, which is, of course, my bosses, they're sitting down. I'm like, oh, my God, what just happened here? So we're sitting there for 2 hours. I normally get like a 30-minute lunch break.
And it's 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 hours. I'm like, okay, this is how they do it, I guess. So I learned the format, it's like small talk, and then we discuss business. And then back to small talk, and then business. I'm like, okay, I can get used to this. It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah. So what was the outcome? You said you got the project?
Yeah, I got the project. So it's still in the development stages, and he introduced me to 5 other people that are kind of influential, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. So it was really positive.
Now, can I ask one question, CJ?
Yeah.
Would you have had that opportunity if you didn't know about the 5-second rule?
I wouldn't have been confident, or I would have procrastinated like I had been. So I would say the book definitely helped.
Wow. So it's not about who you are or anything. It's really about the action that you take.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what the chapter we had yesterday, I think it said that the more you do it, the more confident you get, the better.
That's true.
The more, I guess, it feels normal. The more it's going to feel normal.
Interesting.
So
that's cool.
It's really like a muscle.
Yeah. Yeah. It is like a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
That's great, because now you're moving the project forward.
Yep.
And you're in the driver's seat, moving it forward.
Yeah.
Yes. So
she has a really good technique, I think, the way she broke it down, so we can put all our thoughts in compartments.
Compartmentalize, yeah.
That's easy to control. and not let them run away.
Yeah.
So,
you guys watched the video I put in the chat yesterday? Anybody did?
Oh,
I
we
didn't check
watched
out.
it a long time ago. She put a Mel Robbins TED speech.
Oh, the one where she walks down and gets down with the crowd?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good one. What were you going to say, Yolanda?
Mel has a TED Talk. Again, you guys not do TED Talks now, but Mel has a TED Talk where she pretty much talks about, you know, as much as you're afraid of them, it's in your head, and you shouldn't be afraid of them kind of thing. They're probably more afraid of you. A bigger crowd is worried about, you know, how small they are compared to you because you're on the stage and they're not, kind of thing. So it's amazing how we put our thoughts as, oh my gosh, this must be true because I'm thinking it, when other people are sitting there thinking the exact opposite, and they're the one in fear.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I remember being, in front of my house, we have a Christmas performance every Christmas. You know, they just have a beautiful performance, just like out on the street, like near the church. And it's beautiful with music and costumes. And I wanted to take, back in time, I wanted to take my son and my husband. And so it was like, I don't know. So anyways, we went there to look, and I want to come close and just, you know, if I can look at it from the window, I want to come right there because my son was little and just look at it right there. It's like only across the street. And so we stand right there, and here is the person who was managing the performance. She approaches us, and my husband immediately, oh my gosh, you're going to just give us crap right now. I knew this was going to happen. And she comes and she says, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate your interest in what I do. And she had tears in her eyes, that because everybody was just passing by. But I mean, it's beautiful, like with lights and people and even these animals, you know, for Christmas, you know, they had sheep, and my son was only 2, so I wanted him to see that. And it was interesting because the lady who put the performance together, she was so touched that we came out right there. She had tears, and she was excited for us to watch right where it happens. And you know, one of us presumed that she comes to give us a hard time and gonna.
Because was there anybody else out there, or were you guys the only ones that came there close?
No, it was nobody else, and I always want to do it.
Because everybody probably thought maybe we can't come there because they would give us crap.
Yeah, and it's funny because he said, I knew this was gonna happen. Yeah,
you knew the bad news was coming, and it wasn't.
Yeah. And this is like resonates to what Yolanda just said, you know, that, you know, about we're scared of them, they're scared of us, so we might as well just give it a chance and remember it's not going to kill us. You know, even if she would come mad, we would say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, that's all. We would just live. Like
my trainer used to say, okay, you did 400 sit-ups, and then, and you respond and he say, but did you die?
Yeah, exactly.
And so,
yes, exactly true. But sometimes it takes courage to break the silence in a relationship, and like the silence treatment seems to be very popular. I hate the silence treatment more than anything. Like for me, like break the dishes, yell for a minute, but don't be silent, because when silence happens in a relationship, like you have all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of things, they're piling up, and instead of speaking your mind or telling what's really the problem, maybe calming down first, but telling what it is, I think silence is the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay to take a minute and, you know, before you say something you regret, and cool down. But I think speaking your mind and reaching out to the person that's next to you is super important. And another thing I want to tell from my observation, what I've noticed, that very often we treat the worst the person that lives with us, and it's not right. Like we should treat the best the person that lives in a house with us, you know, whoever it is, you know, is it the whole family or husband or wife or child. We often treat them the worst. Like, you know, it's like we polite with any.
What did you just do? What did you do with your hand?
Throwing the shoe or.
Are you talking about violence?
Violence is not violence. It's just a sleep of flying. But That tells you something, huh?
Yeah, it tells you something. Keep going.
No, I'm very blessed. And, I just want to say that, so it's, I don't know if you guys notice it, but I actually kind of can feel the person, how they treat the closest ones. It's like, when we have a new guest, we're like, yeah, how are you doing? So tell me, get out of here. So
okay, so let me ask a question. Do you think that person that says get out of here, is that the real you?
That's the real you, because if you treat your close person like that, that's the real you. And that's why, in my videos I say, like, pay attention how people treat their, very close circle, because that's going to be you in a couple of years. So, but I think that it takes courage and it takes understanding to be awesome to somebody, to be the best to person that you're with. And if I have any, I've always dreamed to have a, relationship like that. When the person that is close to you you have to treat them the best, always. And, I want to put on the spot Chuck and Pat, because I somehow think that that's how they live life.
I agree. And I think that's why they could be a good example, because they live their life. I mean, there's a statement out there, and I'm sure you guys have heard it. I could never work with my spouse.
Most people say that.
But I always want, so what are they actually saying when they say that? Like, when they say that, are they just saying, like, so if you keep telling yourself that's their mantra, when it's time to work for your spouse and just say it ends up like that, it's probably not going to be that great.
Well, yeah, I mean, my reaction to that is like, well, yeah, not with that attitude.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I understand that.
Have you guys been told that, Chuck and Pat?
Oh, yeah. I would say 90% of people, like, oh, I could never work with my spouse. I think it's such a common response that people say it just without even thinking about it.
I just think it's a cliche.
That's just what everybody says, so that's what they say.
Yeah.
And they don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But there are some that say, like, oh, man, that's awesome. I'd love to be able to work with my spouse full time.
Yeah, this is awesome. For me...
What was that last part, Chuck?
Those are the ones that, generally are happier, better adjusted people, the ones that have that response.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to work in every sense of the word as work with my spouse full time. But if I could stay home and cuddle full time, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to work with CJ?
Wait a minute. Okay, see.
Listen, no. It's not about working. It's my preference is let's stay home and cuddle and do nothing, as opposed to let's stay home and work hard. Just sharing.
Yeah, let's do that.
Probably should have kept that one to myself.
It's not too bad of an option, Yolanda. I have to say.
I want to stay home and, like, I want to wake up and go to breakfast, come home, sit around, talk about nothing, those kind of, the princess thoughts. That's what I'm talking about.
CJ, she wants a date. Yolanda.
You just went on a date. You just went on a date.
What do you mean, nah, CJ?
Hey, Dr. Phil.
No. I know there was a Dr. Phil question. So tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Nah.
I don't know. If that would be up to me, I would never stop dating the person I'm in a relationship with, even if it's like 20 years. I would never stop.
That sounds like textbook.
Like who?
I will say this. When I went to the gym yesterday, there was this older couple, and if I had to guess the age, I would say probably in their 70s. And all they were doing was walking from the gym door to their car, and they were holding hands as they were walking to the car. And I thought, that's cool. If you're that old and you still got that fire going on and you're holding hands just to get to the car.
My sister and her husband do that. They hold hands all the time. He's 75 and she's 72.
Yeah.
Wow.
They still have sex every day.
I like the way that's the New Yorker you bet. you just say that like it's just like good morning. Yeah, they have sex every day. Is that
Every day?
Is that the house you right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not on a building.
It's like, what, every day? I'm getting mistreated?
Veronica, did you just say that you would never stop dating the person you're with in a long-time relationship?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's what I heard.
Mm.
You said that I was saying about something else.
No. I'm a believer in you marry to date. I don't believe in you date to marry. So that goes right along with my belief. And so that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, I love
Gave
it.
me an ultimatum.
What is that? What do
She
you mean?
threatened me.
Guys and Romans.
She threatened me. Do this or else.
You're a romantic at heart. Don't even talk about it. You're a romantic at heart.
Thank you, Pat, because I just need to know, I just need you guys to know that boy is not telling the truth.
I know he's not.
I know I've learned there's layers with CJ.
I've seen him in action. He is a romantic.
CJ, you might as well give up, man. We all know the real you now.
I don't know what.
Yeah, use the 5-second
That's
rule.
not me.
Tell us who you really are.
He's trying to be a gangster.
Yeah.
Damn, what's that like?
I know that's a rogue. Yeah.
That's his favorite thing to say to me, you guys. Don't be doing that. People going to think I'm nice.
Yeah, you can't give up that. You can't let people know that you're nice.
Yeah. Yes, you might pass for a decent person.
But
CJ, bad news for you. It shows.
But I have to ask Pat a question. Do you think that from maybe your brother's perspective, that maybe he looked at that as the key to success of having sex every day?
You said it. So.
Do you think that that's probably if he wrote a book and he had like, I don't know, 5 principles of having marriage?
It's my sister.
Oh, your sister. Okay. Do you think in that book they were right? You should have that every day.
Yes.
Wow.
Every day?
You know what's surprising about that story? When you usually hear about stuff like that, it's the women that be like, I'm not doing it every day. So to have a mate, a woman that would be like, oh yeah, whatever, wherever, whatever, that's amazing to me. That is love, and they should hold hands every day and everywhere and all the time. Because you rarely find those women that just be like, okay,
Look at the chore. Yolanda, what's happened? I mean, many women look at this as a chore. It's like, oh God, now I have to do this. And I think that this is where connection comes handy, because I think, women want still when they are dating and when they're especially married, they still want some romance. They don't want like 5 minutes and like, let's make it happen. And I think with guys, sometimes guys are more practical about this. So, whatever happens, messes up the excitement about it. So it becomes a chore. It's like, oh God, no, I'm tired. Like, not today. And I think, I really, just to kind of move to another topic, I want to finish this. I just want to say, I really think that sex is the highest form of connection between a woman and a man. And so any great relationship have great sex, and great sex is in a great relationship, because when it's really great like that, it means that people are really connecting. They really want to be with each other. They really enjoy that time. And it's a really highest form of connection between two people who are together, because it comes naturally. They feel like connecting every day. So I'm not surprised that, Pat's sister is having such a great marriage, because these two, what comes first, sex or great marriage? I think it's like this.
Well,
I think it's sex.
Which comes first? Yeah.
Sex.
Yeah.
Veronica, I can tell that that's your your passion, your accent, everything just cleaned up when you went into this subject.
Right, it went away. I thought the same thing. I'm not even trying to be funny. I was like, she don't have an accent no more. What the hell?
Everything cleared up.
Oh yeah, it totally is.
But I have a question to ask, because I think sometimes as men, I've seen some men get into this whole like, I'm a male, I'm the boss. So bring me my dinner, bring me this, and they're sitting there. And even we have like a thing in our religion where we look at the example of Muhammad, and we'll say like, oh, there's nothing wrong with washing dishes. There's nothing wrong with doing work that is not considered men work, because there's a phrase that says foreplay begins in the kitchen.
Yes, it's true.
You know, and I think we as men sometimes can take those roles of just like, we're not doing that. That's women work or whatever kind of thing.
Right, and that is exactly
old school mentality.
Yeah.
And I call it chauvinistic.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. When CJ do the dishes, it's not because he's being romantic. It's because he's pissed off that he got to do the dishes. Kind of thing. Yesterday he chased me home from my friend's house. We were both over there. He's like, go home and cook, woman.
Well, that may have been a joke.
Right, but I just
no. It was the for truth. It was the real. He meant that. He was like, go home and cook my food or cook my dinner, something like that. He said. And I went home and I cooked his dinner, and then he didn't come home and eat it. So that I woke up this morning like, what the hell?
But then you said that he could cook, because I remember you said at the beginning that you couldn't cook at all, or you never cooked.
He can cook, really good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just want to say that what Abdul said, it's so true, and men don't connect this. When it does really start in the kitchen, or whatever should be done, because women connect to men differently. When she has her time, when she thinks that he's helping, she has a natural desire to be with him and be close with him, and also she has time to rest and turn to that woman of mysteries that will come and seduct him when he doesn't even expect it. But when she is dishes, kids, this and that, then she dreads the thought of that. So if anybody listening wanted that advice, here you go.
Monica, that's amazing. You're very wise in the area of relationships. I have a question, Chuck. Do you do dishes?
Yeah, of course.
I can't imagine Pat letting you get to the dishes. I don't know why. I see Pat as this superwoman type of chick, where she'll cook and do the dishes, and before you even look up, it's all done.
But
you're eating.
It's just a matter of if something needs done, then one of us does it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's not even a problem there. I can tell.
No, it's not. It's not like, oh well, that's your job.
There's no.
I mean, Pat normally does it, but if he doesn't for some reason, then I do. Or
I'm a slow eater, so sometimes I'm still eating, and then he gets up and does them.
Yeah, I'll get up and do them while she's finishing eating. So, it's just there's really no set way of doing things with us. It's just we get things done.
Mm-hmm. But I have been in environments where the men wouldn't dare go to the dishwasher or go to the sink. Mm-hmm. They would just sit there, and the woman would clean the plates. And I remember the first time I did, I actually got up and I spraying off the plate, and I just happened to look, and I was getting stared at. Because they were staring at me like, "What the heck are you doing? What?"
Yeah,
clean. That's women.
No, but you know what? The other thing on that side too is women will never dare go outside and mow the lawn.
Why not?
Well,
I know our lawn.
I know you do that. Again, remember, I just labeled you as Superwoman, so I know you.
Actually,
I'm talking about the same thinking is on the other side. It's not just men thinking women should do the dishes. Women think men should clean the yard.
No, I have to be.
I'm talking about married women, not all of them.
Well, the smart man is making the dinner, so his lady has time to go take a shower and put herself together and show up right. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I like, for example, in some ways, the dream man is a man that knows sometimes when he needs to take over, he needs to give you some time so she can have some time to like in old in fairy tales with like sultans and everybody. It's like these ladies that were like guru, like I don't know, not guru, but like geishas or whatever. They were like, they had times they took like aromatherapy, massage, and then magic happens. So any smart man should know the secret. It's not always doing some super romantic things. It's taking care of the chores, so this woman can feel like a butterfly. She can take and she can show up, dress nicely, and that woman will actually have initiative for things, because men often complain that there is no initiative, but there is no initiative because she dreads it, because she dreads it because it's a chore.
If if reincarnation is actually a thing, I think you actually lived back in those times. Because I think you light up with that whole
Oh my God.
type thing. Yeah.
So back to the book.
Back to the book.
Well, this actually connects.
I'm thinking our next book should be a relationship book, and Veronica should lead it.
Oh my gosh! Well, I have my YouTube relationship book, Yolanda.
Yeah.
That's been growing lately, and but thank you guys. I'm red.
But I think it is an important subject because I don't think that's something really talked about. I think the dating starts like you ask the girl out, or maybe the girl asks you out in a strange circumstance, and then it starts, and you kind of make mistakes and learn things there.
I never want that to end. Like, I just think why should it? You know, why shouldn't? So.
But I like what Yolanda and CJ do. You guys have that couples. How often do you guys do that?
Once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys learned a lot from that?
I do.
Yes.
I learned what to say, what not to say. Go do this, do that.
No, it's really nice. And the couples has there are great.
Yes.
And the past is great.
But where do you, okay, so if you didn't, let's say you didn't do the couple things, where else are you going to learn that?
Church.
Yeah.
My pastor is a romantic, and he is very he's all about relationships, and he's all about faith also, and so he's always taking an opportunity to teach us single and couples from the pulpit. You know, he could be talking about healing and relationships come into play. He could be talking about, you know, faith and relationship will come into play. So I learned a lot from that. But I also, I'm Pat Jr. I'm always looking for information. I'm always looking for information. So I go out and listen and look for things on my own. I actually started a Instagram page called Wisdom for Wives. And it makes me, you know, go get information and learn stuff.
Chuck and Pat, I just wanted to know in my videos, I often talk about you, so just don't be surprised. I don't tell your name or your address, but I put you as an example of courage in a relationship and being open and have trust, and that it, you know, it definitely does exist, especially if you believe in it, it does. So just so you know, guys, I talk about you. So talking about connection, I think, you know, her story gave really great examples about connection and between people who were married and needed to have the conversation, you know, or were not married and needed to really share and talk of what's happened and have a conversation. I don't have a book with me, but if anybody wants to read about I really like those two examples. The one was about when the lady finally, you know, just had the courage and, you know, asked for divorce, and it was in her head for so long, and she finally just did go and went for it, and she've never regretted. And we all have examples of that and never regretted here. And another one actually had a conversation with her boyfriend and really just shared how things were. If anybody wants to read the piece, you guys are welcome. I don't know if anybody has a book.
The other thing I liked in this book is waiting for the right time to get real in your relationships is a fool's errand.
Yeah.
There is no right time to have the conversation. Ask the hard questions. Say, I love you. Take the time to truly listen.
Love it.
Right now.
I
highlighted that. I thought that was really important because I think people wait way too long to have conversations with family, with friends, especially with family.
Yes.
Sister's going through some stuff now with her sons, and that right there really hit a note with me with that about conversation that they're not having. It's a silent,
I got one.
It's a silent conversation, and it's just very unfortunate. There's a lot of hurt involved, and it's a daily reminder to her, and it's just very unfortunate. And
yeah, she actually said that silence silence is never a good idea, that it creates cognitive dissonance. And I think it is so true, because you think one thing, you feel another thing, and you do nothing about it. So it creates this, I think harmony is when you think, feel, and act, and it's all together connected. It's all one thing. This is when you are connected and happy. You think, you feel, and you act. You do things it's all aligned together. And when it's not, I think it can create such a painful patterns and can lead to all kinds of mental disease, because you feel one thing, you can't express it, and this whole silence thing kind of leads me to an example with a lady who felt like reaching out to her dad. I mean, she actually didn't feel like it, but she used a rule because she thought about it for a while, and she just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and she reached out to her dad and just did it, and it worked out. She had a conversation. He picked up the phone, and I have a short but powerful story from my family. My older brother had been killed in an accident about 5 years ago. Yeah, and he has 3 kids. The kids that my son is on the pictures with, that his kids. Yeah, he was only 37 years old. He was on top of his career. He was a very successful journalist, and he got killed in an accident. And before that, wow. It's been 5 years now. It was very tragic, of course. So him and my dad didn't have very good relationships. They basically did not talk for 20 years. But just, yes, they did not talk. There was just silence. My dad and I, we always talked, but almost always. So he actually reached out. He just showed up at my dad's house, I would say probably several months before the accident. He just showed up at his house. No calls, nothing. He just showed up. Something told him to come to his house, and my dad opened the door, and they had a conversation, and I'm so happy that it happened, because it would have been absolutely, it would make it even more tragic if he would never seen him and that would happen. He just had the instinct for some reason to show up at his house. And then also when that tragic event had happened, my dad was able to come and see him.
Wow. And thank you for sharing that. I know that was probably pretty tough, and that's something
a powerful story.
That is a powerful story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Veronica. It's almost like he knew, but maybe didn't know. It's kind of like the universe was preparing him, and he knew that he probably needed to send his weight on his mind.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, but guys, that tells us again that we should always go for it. We should just always go for it. And somewhere, I have such a interesting handwriting. When I write for myself, it's like nobody in the world can read this. Like she says somewhere here. She says like somewhere here that leave nothing important unsaid. Nothing important unsaid. And this actually leads me to the powerful story in this book, where she talks about the story with that young man Josh that was killed in the accident. I could relate to like almost everything here. That was killed in the accident, and she didn't. The lady saw him and she wanted to say hi, but she didn't. She thought she was unprepared and something else, and then she saw him one more time, and the good thing about that, he had a big smile, had a good good day, but she did not come and say hi, and then she knew that she got the news that he got into an accident, and she forever regretted not saying hi. Remember in the book, not reaching out and not saying hi. And then another story, was a guy, Josh, who just, was killed in an accident just before the New Year's, and he sent that message, and it was interesting because they told that he was that person that would always go for it, that would always say what they wanted, that he wanted to say. And he sent that message just before the New Year's. And it's like, it reminds us, we think it doesn't matter what your age is. We think that we live forever and we will have time to like say these words. But, we all know that we don't know. Length of our life does not depend on our age.
No, it has nothing to do with. And what do you think this comes from? Like, why do we wake up and think, oh, I'll do that later? Like, why do you think we have this? I think it's kind of an arrogant type way of thinking. Why do you guys think we have that kind of thought pattern?
I think it's just good old-fashioned procrastination.
I think it's arrogance and not being wise.
And I've heard people say things like, oh, you have your whole life ahead of you. How do you know that?
You're hoping, but there is no guarantee.
No, there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a whole 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. One thing that makes me really happy in my life is that I feel that, I'm connecting with my son. I make sure that we connect every day, like every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
And I think that if you start looking at life like that, I think that would also make you stop procrastinating a little bit.
Yeah, I honestly can't imagine it in any other way because I don't know. I think it's so much joy to be with a person that you love. Why to have this stuff going on? Why not to just be straightforward?
I'm a part of this women's group that's their motto is live full, die empty. And they don't live in fear of dying, but they really believe that I'm going to live my most passionate life today because tomorrow is not promised.
Yep.
And they go, when I watch these ladies, and a lot of them have a lot of different things stacked up against them as far as ailments, financial stuff, all that stuff, but they go after it wholeheartedly and passionately every day. I can't even begin to tell you guys how passionate they are, how they live life. They live life. One lady, she's trying to set her life up to where, well, first of all, her husband passed away and he left her a lot of money. But she's trying to set her life up to where, she connects with her kids every day, but she's doing something that she's passionate about. And so every day is something different. And so we can't wait to see, and it's an online Facebook group. We can't wait to see what she did yesterday. Like this morning when I get settled, I'm going to look and see what is she. I
like that mentality. Can I tell you something? Oh, I'm sorry. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
And I know it may not be like this, but I honestly think, and this is my version of the other side, before we came here, I think there was like a board, and it was diseases, and there was problems on that board. And you have to literally go to that board and say, hey, pick something. Okay, lupus. I'll pick asthma. Pick two. Because I have never met a 100% healthy person. And then we get into this mode of, oh, I feel sorry for this person, whatever. You got to have something. Everybody has something because you got to leave this world somehow. And I've never met a 100% completely healthy person. But then I think that's, I'm sorry, keep going, Yolanda.
I disagree with you. My girlfriend just lost her great aunt, and she was 98. Yep. And she was very healthy, very whole. There was absolutely nothing wrong with her. She was still driving in her 90s. There was nothing wrong. She wasn't blind in one eye. Like nothing was wrong with her.
So are you saying?
Happy. She told them, I'm tired and I'm ready to go 2 weeks before she died.
But it seems like you're describing perfection, though. And we know that doesn't exist.
Right, but I'm talking about, you're saying everybody have to have something. She wasn't sick at all. There was nothing wrong with her at all. She was still driving in her 90s. She wasn't driving you know, this year when she passed away. But she was still, you never hear of people driving in there.
Yeah, that is an uncommon thing, especially at that age.
You gotta have something.
No, I'm serious, because I say that because this, I always have a phrase that Muhammad said, and I'll start putting some of these quotes. He said, you should treat this world as a traveler waiting for your next destination. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. You have your suitcase and you're literally ready to go to the next place, wherever that is.
Don't say this because I'll take it literally. Go somewhere else.
I don't know. Yeah,
but I feel like we came here to experience and learn. That's my to experience and see like how we can expand and what we can like experience and learn
better.
And what can we create out of this given life to us.
Yeah.
But we're not promising how long it's gonna be, you know.
No.
And you know, I definitely can relate to this. It was my family. It was, you know, some things that happened were absolutely unexpected, like on top of things. But you know, one thing about my brother, he always went for what he wanted. He had a brilliant career and he had his own school. He was teaching people how to be a great journalist. Like he was pretty famous in my city. Mm-hmm. And he always went for what he wanted. That's one thing. And sometimes when I think about this, I also see him an example and I think, okay, what he would do, you know, he would just go for it. He was very outgoing and creative. He's my only brother that's like from, you know, we have same mom and same dad because I have my sister by my mom and my other brother by my dad, but he was the only full blood sibling for me, and we were a lot alike, so we never get along. So
and he's not going, by the way, but
yeah. So I think that, you know, that was powerful. I really love how Mel put things together. She doesn't just concentrate on achievement and business, and we all here into business and entrepreneurship, and we're all striving to grow, but we really need to strive to grow in all the areas of our life. That's the point. I think the kind of having an abundance, and I loved this chapter. Of course I did, and I saw that everybody learned something and kind of had I can guarantee that everybody in our group when read this had bells ringing at certain stories. We all had the responses. So let's not just that be a story. Let's not just that be something that, you know, we read and forgot. Let's live these things. Like, let's live it in real life.
And I have to say, I like what Yolanda said about the example. And Yolanda, I would ask if you could have that friend, if she gets up that early, to come and share that story of being able to get up every day and say, and like you said, I wonder what she's going to do today. She wakes up with that mindset. If everyone woke up with that mindset, I'm sure we would see amazing human beings.
She actually have a 5 a.m. pound class. It's called Pound. That's a kind of workout where you work out with sticks and you beat the ground and you pound stuff and blah, blah, blah. So she has a 5 a.m. pound class that she teaches. I'll ask her.
Pound class?
It's called Pound. Yeah, Pound.
Wow. Does she have any videos of that?
I don't know. I mean, there's photos of her and her group, the people that get up with her and go do it, but I don't know about video.
Yeah, I know
it's very popular in the yoga area, yoga world. Those type of people, the people that meditate and do those kind of things.
Got it.
Pound is very popular around that group.
Okay.
So guys, any takeaways? I just want to say that my biggest one is, you know, silence is a killer, and always connect, always reach out, always say what you really want to say, like say that, because it might change somebody's life. Somebody might have the worst day possible, and you say them something you meant to say them. It might make their day. Sometimes it happens with me. I have some low moments, and I just realize that no, what you do is right. I think it doesn't matter how confident you are and how good product you make. We all have moments of doubt. We all have moments of doubt in the relationship and in business. So if you are that person that can reassure somebody and tell them what you think, encourage them, if you appreciate what they do for you, tell them. If you love somebody, tell them. Don't wait, because you might never have another chance.
Yeah, don't put off tomorrow what you can do today.
Just
I learned, okay.
No, go see Jay.
Oh, I learned in your 70s you can still hit it every day.
That's
All right.
I hope you cut this, Abdul.
What did you say?
I hope you cut this, Abdul.
That in your 70s you still can have that kind
No,
of...
just cut CJ out of the conversation.
Hashtag no secrets.
What is that, Pat? I mean...
Hashtag no secrets.
Yeah, yeah.
I put that on my Facebook page a lot. Hashtag no secrets.
And Pat, I do say that you still should work in love notes.
Yes.
Even if you only do one action a day, I think you should do it. Can I lead tomorrow? Tomorrow is the passion section, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
and I want to just put this on your mind today. We don't have to discuss it, but just put it on your mind. I think, how can I even say it? Some people have a silence in the world. And Chuck, you mentioned that guy that has that rare thing that he does that only a few people in the world could do.
Yeah.
And I say, and you'll see more when I'm talking about tomorrow, that guy's a lonely guy. That guy's an alien on this planet.
Yes,
because he has to show up as a watered down version of himself just to even communicate with the people around him.
Yeah.
And I'm finding more and more people like this on a regular basis now. So it's like they're aliens.
Well,
If that makes sense. Huh?
Tomorrow's chapter 16. We went to 17 today, but tomorrow's 16.
But is that the passion one tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Passion.
Yeah.
All right. I'll volunteer for that one.
Okay, good. Because I was hoping we could find someone that maybe could address passion and maybe do something about it.
Woo, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
About passion here.
No, not that kind.
I know everyone mixes it up. Not that kind of passion, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to lead that one. I think that'll
We'll
be good.
probably be able to get on in the morning.
Yeah.
We're not going to be that early.
Yeah, we expect to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are going to be in the woods tomorrow.
We're going to head up in the morning.
This
Yeah.
is so awesome, guys. Have an awesome time. Recharge.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that story, Veronica.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Veronica.
Yeah, thank you.